What's up, guys? It's the Podcast Boys back with episode 149. Today, we're joined by Rodden.
Hi.
So, briefly introduce yourself.
So I'm Rodden, and I played soccer with Justin. And yeah, we're here now.
So, Rodden, you're in grade 12. You're graduating this year. Briefly, just describe what that's like going to your final year of.
Well, I mean, it's pretty fun because you kind of just you're about to end high school and get to start real life and shit.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of sad going towards the end because knowing that the last bell is gonna be the last time going into high school.
Yeah.
And leaving. But yeah, it's pretty fun because the grad events and stuff like that, they're pretty fun. Do grad games gotcha.
Yeah.
Where it's basically tag, with safeties around everywhere you've seen and
Yeah.
And everyone has someone to tag, and basically you have to wear right now it's goggles and floaties, so you don't get tagged, and if you ever get caught lacking not wearing them, you're you can get tagged.
And then you can jump in the water, right? What's
Yeah.
the rule there?
There's also a water life, so if you get tagged, you're allowed to soak yourself in water, and you have to get to the water in 2 minutes though.
And then what happens if you don't tag the your target?
You have 2 weeks to tag your target, and basically if you don't tag them, you're out.
Yeah.
And then the winner we all put $10 in, so the winner right now is getting $890, so it's it's kind of nice.
Pretty big prize. So you're in still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got anyone out yet or no?
Well, I got my guy that I was supposed to get,
Yeah.
but he used his water life.
Oh, okay.
So I'm chill for the next round. I just still have to tag him, but I have a lot of time still.
All right. Do you have any plans? I mean, I don't you don't want to dox him here, but.
I mean, I got some stuff.
Oh, okay.
He's on the hockey team, so it's kind of easy.
Ooh, okay. Do you have any plans for after high school? Do you know what you want to do or
Well, I'm hoping to get into pharmaceutical sciences.
Ooh, oh shit.
In UBC, but they haven't responded yet.
Yeah.
If not, I'll probably take a year
Yeah.
in a college and then transfer into UBC.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that. They take you do community college, or you can do CAP
Yeah.
and then transfer in. But so that's are you sure that's kind of what you're gonna go into? That's what you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of I've been wanting this since grade 9.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
kind of locked in.
So what classes do you need, I guess, to go into that?
Well, obviously you need chemistry.
Mhm.
You also need physics 11, which I didn't know till last year, so I took physics.
Shit, yeah.
And then just bio, pre-calc, all the normal stuff, first science course.
Yeah, so it's just you're going into sciences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just chemistry 12. It's kind of stands out to most science courses.
So what do you think made you want to do get into pharmaceutical?
I've kind of found where medicine comes from cool since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool how it's just a pill, you just take it and you're
yeah.
Good.
You have any life what? I don't know, it's just interesting because I'm completely opposite, right? I hate physics, hate chem, hate science, right? So for me it's just it's cool to see someone that's interested in what I don't find, you know what I mean, that I just not find interesting and stuff. So yeah.
I mean, it's I find it pretty cool just finding out how the world works.
Yeah, true.
I don't really like physics, but the concept of it is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not the biggest physics guy, but it is kind of cool. You get to understand just how things work and move and stuff. Dude, even Elon Musk was saying shit about how physics was his favorite course in high school because he got to figure out. He said it's physics is kind of it explains how the world moves, and obviously he's done so much with that with SpaceX and Tesla and stuff. So I think that's interesting that literally the richest guy in the world is preaches about physics, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of medicine, do you think you have any bad experiences as a kid? Did you ever break something that made you want to pursue it more, or learn about it? Or
I mean, I've never actually broken a bone, which is most people have, but I've never broken a bone. But something that I can think about, when I was when my brother was pretty little, he got pretty sick, he almost died. He was in the hospital for a few nights, but yeah, and then he got he's all good now, but yeah, that kind of just like, I guess, sparked it almost.
Yeah. I guess that would definitely make you want to like pursue it more, especially if it's like up in the air. Like, I mean, I think it's like either make or break in that situation, because some like, I mean, if you got better from it, you probably have a tendency like towards it, or like you probably appreciate like what it did for you. And I guess a personal experience as well is probably like more meaningful, I guess.
Yeah.
So, so if you get into pharmaceutical, like what do you do? Are you just like the guy like administering the meds, or?
Well, I mean, there's like a bunch of like different parts of it, I guess. Like there's the people like making them, and there's like
Mhm.
the pharmacies who like
Yeah.
distribute them and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of want to like get into like studying them
Mhm.
and basically finding out like how to like how to make them more effective and stuff like that.
All right. So yeah, if you don't get in, like fingers crossed that you do, but if you don't and you take a gap, like what are you gonna do in your gap? Do you think
Uh, honestly, I don't know.
work?
Yeah, I guess work.
Yeah.
Continue working.
Travel maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Don't you want to take a gap right after school?
Yeah.
What's your plan?
I'm traveling.
Travel? Where are you going?
Asia.
Yeah. You're going to South Korea, right? That's like your
Yeah,
plan.
because that's like the most like beneficial, because it's like I save so much money by going there just because of Chris.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go there, and like other parts, I really want to go to Japan.
Yeah.
And if I have the money, some other parts maybe. But
Yeah.
like my mom was actually talking to me. So the trip to South Korea is a graduation gift. So she's
Sick.
gotta book that this summer. So
Mhm.
coming up, couple months, and yeah, gonna have to go online and book that.
Yeah.
Don't graduate.
That's not possible. That's not happening. Who do you
Yeah.
think I am, bro?
So I think like one thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is like I think university, like a lot of kids, even if they don't have it figured out, are kind of like forced into the route of going to university. Like I know my parents, like they really wanted me to like go to uni, but I'm not like honestly I'm not like 100% sure like what I want to do. Like the degree that I would like be like pursuing is like business degree, but I'm not also like I don't want to get a business degree when I could just start a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think like the
Yeah.
principles that you would learn are like effective and like
Yeah,
help you
Of course.
get the thing. Kevin O'Leary, like the guy from Shark Tank, he was saying like he preaches about like going to college and university, and he was saying like the best degree you can get is engineering. Like that's like the one that
They
he would
make a lot of money.
so you can always do, right? And I think engineers, you can also like you have a bunch of different options. You can go into like
Yeah.
industrial engineering. You can do like
Technician.
architectural and all that sort of stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. Both of my cousins are going into that. But yeah, the thing is like with college, especially from like a business degree like perspective, like if you're not going into like sciences or you're going into engineering, then it's kind of difficult to like go and get that like traditional degree, because also it's like what am I going to be studying? Just like principles, I guess, of businesses and like SWOT analysis. But I feel like it's almost like forced upon me. Like I don't know what I want to do yet, but it's like the go-to option is okay, just go to university, right? And that's kind of like I guess like what I have to do. So I'm not 100% sure if that's what I want to do yet, but
Yeah, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they're saying they're in my grade, they're my friend. They're saying they have no plans to go on to any post-secondary, and they're saying that it's because they have other ways that they can get to where they want to be that doesn't
Mhm.
require school. Like they're saying you can start your own business, you can do this and that. I think like no shame in not going to post-secondary. Like I
Yeah.
want to, because I think for me that would be beneficial and the best for me. So like I'll probably have to do that. I don't like school, but like realistically, you probably should in terms of like what I want to do.
yeah.
So that's probably what I'm gonna do. But yeah, it all depends on you, really.
Yeah. And it's also like it's only like 4 years, right? It's not that long, so it's like it's the
Well,
same
it
as high
depends.
school,
You
right?
can drag out courses. You can take like half
Yeah.
courses or like half semesters. So
Especially like sciences, right? Like I think you
Yeah.
can do like you go in longer, right?
You can go into like med school, which would be
that's like
an-
10 years.
Yeah,
plus.
like an extra like
Yeah.
10, 8 years.
Yeah. And that's expensive too, dude. Like especially
But
like
so
Canada.
for some people, that's worth it, because when you get that 10 years, your whole life is just rich. Like,
Yeah,
you're getting
true,
paid a
true.
lot. But it's like, to me, that's not worth it. To me, I don't
Sure,
want to just
yeah.
suffer for 10 years and then have to live. Like, that 10 years is a lot, bro. Like, I was in like grade 1 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, dead
that's,
eye.
that's actually crazy.
Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to like really want to do it. Like that's the thing. I think especially if you don't know what you want to do yet. Like I think like university's kind of like I don't know. It's like I kind of almost want to take a gap just to like figure out, right? Like I feel like I'm still so young, and then like having to go into it, and then like not being sure. Like I know my sister's doing art school. She took a gap and she kind of just like figured out what she wanted to do. Like she knew she wanted to go to art school, and she took a
She
year.
talked about it on here, saying that
Yeah, so she
went
took a year off
vacation
and like figured out kind of like that's like what she wanted to do. And then
that's
she
good.
went into arts, and then she has to pick her major. So I think she's between two. She's either doing industrial or she's doing, what's the other one? It's like commercial. So I think she does like, she can do like ads and stuff, and then she can also do like even like online work, which would be like it could be like thumbnails or it could be like advertising for like companies.
Yep.
And then like industrial could be like designing chairs and like actual like physical products and stuff. So like how things work and like the ergonomics of it. But I think like I don't know. I understand. Like I think they see the importance of like going to university. I see like why I can like definitely help a lot of people. But I think in some cases like you shouldn't go. But then also it's like if I don't go, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? I don't want to like sit on my ass and do nothing while like people like going
People
ahead.
in my grade have already dropped out of school, and then they've been like, people I know like ask like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm just smoking weed, playing video games all day. Like, really?
Yeah. Like I think you gotta have a plan with that. Like I'm pretty like you sound like you got a good plan. You do too. But like I think you have to be like driven, especially, and just know where you want to go with it and how you're gonna get there. So yeah.
I mean, like, you still got some time.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Got like a year till grade 12, but then you gotta get your applications in and stuff.
In like
Yeah.
February, so it's less than a year.
Yeah, a little less. Yeah. So like in terms of like applications and stuff, like how was that? Like how many did you send out?
I mean, I didn't send too much. I only sent,
Yeah.
like, to UBC. Like, that was the only really big school that I sent to.
Mhm.
And then I kind of just sent to, like, a bunch of, like, colleges and stuff that I got accepted to, like, just
Yeah.
in case I don't get into UBC.
So you got like the backup options.
Yeah,
ready?
of course.
Yeah. So you're gonna stay here, I presume, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, live here, then just go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think about people that like go to like I don't know, Kelsey, right? Isn't she going to like Western or
Yeah,
something? She's going to.
I mean, it's pretty cool, just kind of, like, a new place.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
kind of just, like, live, like, on your own and kind of stuff like that. Personally, I don't think, like, I'd be able to do that. Not because, like, I just, like, feel like I wouldn't be able to, like, do, like, schoolwork. I'd kind of just, like, be out all the time and it'd be, like, a waste.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
Yeah.
like, I honestly think it's pretty cool. Like, I'd love to do that. Maybe for, like, when I get my major, for, like, a
Mhm.
major degree, I could go somewhere else. But, yeah, for now, I'm just, like, planning on staying here.
Yeah. No, I like that perspective too, because I think so many people like they'll go away to college, whatever, they get their dorm, and then they just completely like they just like party, drink, and then like they like fail their classes or like you know what I mean, not fail their classes, but like just pass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think if you're going to sciences and like stuff like that, you actually like you need to do well as well. Like you can't just like coast through, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're getting like a communications
Squeeze
degree,
by.
yeah, you can like whatever, you can just squeeze by whatever, get the degree, leave. But like if you're
Is
not
that worth
like,
it?
yeah, is that worth the money too?
Yeah.
Another thing that's also important is like the money. Like obviously Canadian like university and colleges are like a lot less expensive than going into
US,
the
Oh, yeah,
States.
US is, like, pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think it's like some of the like good schools are like 50,000 upwards, right? So and that's for like a year, like not even the whole thing. Like here, I don't know, the tuition's like if you go to like I think UBC, how much is UBC?
It's, like...
It depends what you're
it's, like-
taking though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
It's,
that's
like, around
true, that's true.
6,000, like, 12,000 a
Mhm.
year, something like that.
But then you also have to factor in books and all these other things. So it's like you have to. I think like for me personally, if I'm gonna go to university, I have to like know that's exactly what I want to do,
Yeah, exactly.
which I'm not like 100% sure yet. So what's your thoughts on it? Like if you had to recommend to just like I don't know the majority of people, would you say go or not?
Honestly, like, if you have a plan, go for it. Like, do it. Even if you don't, like, try and, like, go into something that seems kind of interesting to you and just give it a try. Because, honestly, it doesn't hurt. Because at the end of the day, if you go and get that degree, like, you have way more job opportunities than just, like, a high school diploma.
Yeah, I agree. I think like for the majority of people, like I think you just go anyways, and like even if you don't love what you're going into, even just having the degree, like I know like even my parents like they got their degrees in like communications, all these other things, and they went into something completely different. Like that happens a lot of the time. People will get like a bachelor's and whatever, and they just completely like pivot from that initial like job like opportunity or like whatever they should have went into. But I think just having a degree in general is useful, especially if you're applying to any jobs and stuff.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Just like, what's that actor's name? Like, Jimmy Chung or something?
Oh, is it the guy
Mm.
from
Like the guy from Hangover, like Mr. Chow.
Oh
What's
yeah,
his
I think
name?
so. I don't even know, man.
But anyways, he became a doctor. Like he fully got he finished his doctor's degree and stuff, and then he said, screw that, I'm just gonna go and act.
Yeah. No, and so many people like at that point, like I guess it's worth it because then if you know, like, okay, you've done it for whatever, you've done the whole university course, you've done all this, and you just like know that's not what you want to go into. Like that's when I don't know, like, is it worth the pursuit?
Yeah,
Because
true.
you now you have this
'Cause
big
it's like-
degree
yeah.
hanging on your wall, and you
It's
haven't used it
not-
since you graduated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for me, I would find that a waste.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In your life, it could just come out of nowhere.
And I think it's
Yeah.
also the experience of like you have that, like, okay, you know how to
Yeah.
work hard, you know how to like pursue whatever you want,
Yeah.
and then like after you've done that, you have that like background, like someone to fall back on. Like let's say this guy acting didn't work out, he also got like a degree and like a reliable job to
Yeah.
fall back on as well. But I think
That's facts.
my plan.
yeah.
What's your backup plan again?
Well, my backup plan is engineering. Well, I'm gonna set it up first.
What's your main plan?
Yeah.
What? Main plan, business.
Oh
Well,
business.
it's not really specific on what side, mainly commercials, but
Okay.
yeah. Anyway.
I feel
But
like,
it's good to set up your plan B first and then go into the main thing, so you'll have a mattress to fall on. Personally.
yeah,
No,
I know.
'cause
So.
You either never know what's gonna happen in life or what you're gonna change your mind on, but it's good to always know that if you're like tilted, you have something to fall on, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not just completely like fucked if like it doesn't work out. This week I watched like this podcast, Diary of a CEO is a really good one. I was watching that and they had this one guy, I don't even know his name, bro, because I just like played the episode and didn't like look at it. And basically he was talking about like he started this business about like gyms and he like ran and like operated gyms. And I don't think this guy got a degree. He just went straight into this business and it started failing. Like he ended up in the beginning it went really well. He started signing all these clients. I think he was making like $100,000 a month for like a while. Like he was getting the payments in. And then basically someone with his credit card happened, and then he went into this venture, and the guy ended up like frauding him and like taking all his money. So he got screwed, and he was like down in the dumps, and he had to like rebuild it up. And he ended up like figuring it out and like getting the business. He like sort of shifted his business plan. But I think obviously starting a business is really like it's risky because if it doesn't work out, you're just like money, like you lose all your money. You can like lose a bunch of connections as well if you like do someone wrong. And you lose interest. So it's really just like it's risky, but it can be worth it. I think it's like it's difficult to succeed in that. Like you actually have to really like push for it if you want it. So I guess we can talk about like grade 12. You're in the last year. You were on the soccer team.
I mean, it's pretty fun. I was on the soccer team in grade 11 too. I didn't play as much as I did this year, but yeah, it's just a great experience. Like you build so many friendships that might like last for a long time. Like me and Justin,
Yeah.
great friends. But yeah, it's just like being a part of a team, being a part of like a school team. It just feels really good. We obviously got third in the province, which is
Yeah.
nobody expected that going into the year, especially like the other grade 12s. They were like, oh no, I don't like they didn't believe in us. Nobody believed in us, honestly. I honestly didn't even believe in us that much, but like
Yeah. Not even our coach did, bro.
Yeah.
Fernie was talking shit. He was like,
Bernie was smoking.
yeah, he called us a bunch of plumbers and like gangsters and stuff in the locker room. And then at like Catholics, we lost like to St. Anne's, which is like pretty
bum
bad school. Yeah, and like, dude, yeah, all the coach, we were in a like in the beginning of the year, like that, like Catholics was like. I don't know. We had like some good games, some bad, but I think it's just like in the end, like the whole experience was fun. Like I love playing on the senior team, and it's like no matter what, like win or lose, like that team was so close too. Like everyone in the hallways is like everyone's still friends. Everyone's still like dapped each other up. So it's like you said, yeah, it's just like that big connection. I think like also in a smaller school, everyone's like super friendly too, because it's like there's not that many people, so you kind of know everyone as well, like on the team and just like. Even the older, younger grades, right? So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's only like 100 something in each grade.
Yeah. So I think it's really fun to be a part of because you get closer with the people, especially if you don't even like you barely know them. Like I think I barely knew you when, or like I talked to you like a little bit, but not as much as like after, right? And, like on the team. So yeah, for sure.
But also the girls soccer team, they also lost to St. Anne's.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, we got bad luck against St. Anne's, bro. Shout out St. Anne's, but like. You're a pretty jacked guy, bro. You want to talk about your gym? Like, what's your gym
mean,
routine, bro?
3 years ago, I was like decently fat, I'd say. And then, yeah, sure, chubby. And then 2021, yeah, 2021 January is when I started just like working out and stuff. And then, yeah, I've just been working out for over 2 years now. I'm on a cut now, trying to get ripped for the summer, but yeah, it's honestly for working out, all it is just like discipline. Just like eating properly, making sure to go to the gym and stuff like that. And like the discipline from gym really helps, like it helps you in like real life too. Just like having discipline to like do
True.
homework, do other stuff, just stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
really like
That's facts.
yeah, I really recommend like starting to go to the gym and just like having discipline for yourself and like self-love and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think it's also like, especially if you're younger, it's like the one thing that you can do for yourself, right? And it's like
Yeah, exactly.
something you can do now
Yeah,
to
you
like
talked
make
about
yourself
that, your
better,
top
right?
5.
Yeah,
last
exactly.
episode.
But it's like, it's something that, yeah, like if you're a teen, let's say like you go to school, then you have a job, or you're doing sports. Well, I think sports is a little different, but like if you have a job, school, homework, like it's the one thing that you can do that's just like for yourself, right? That you can take time out of your day and put it towards yourself and just like, I don't know, zone out. It's also good, I think, yeah, mental health. We talked about that last episode, but it's good for your mental health too. Like you get rid of all the shit and like bad stuff, and then you can just sort of like focus. And like I always find after the gym, I'm like in such like a better headspace. I can just like completely focus and like do whatever I want to do. So
Yeah, exactly. Just like feel better about yourself.
yeah, 100%. And that confidence, I think, can apply in all areas. Like we said, it can apply in school too. Like if you're confident going in and like studying and just like getting like down to it and just like focusing in, I think it's like super helpful, especially with like school and schoolwork and stuff.
I have a question.
All right.
So, being Iranian, are you fasting right now?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not Muslim
You're not
actually.
Okay.
So, but yeah, shout out to all my Muslims fasting for Ramadan. I really respect that. It's pretty fucked. Like
Yeah.
it's
Seems
hard.
hard as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I
I
think
did.
a lot of them are used to it though. Like I was talking, one of my friends was doing it. He's like, "Yeah, it's not that big of a deal anymore. Like first year was pretty hard. Dude, look at Kyrie. He's dropping like 35 a game.
Yeah.
Like no
exactly.
food.
On
the entire-
Ramadan.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Kareem Benzema.
It's like a
Yeah.
superpower, bro. I feel like I don't know.
Bro's dropping like a world class level, like scoring a hat trick, bro, in El Clasico.
Against my team, bro.
Oh yeah, hated that. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, Ramadan is crazy, bro. Some of these guys like dates, bro. They eat dates, bro. That puts them on like beast mode. Like,
What's the whole thing about dates? Like what is that about?
oh, it's just. Well, dates like were pretty much the only thing that grew back in like the old days, back with Muhammad times
Yeah.
and like Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia. So they ate a lot of it, and there's like a bunch of stories in Quran with like Muhammad and dates and stuff, and yeah, it's just a popular thing and like people eat it. Yeah, I don't like it personally, but yeah.
Muhammad was a dates kind of guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude, Muhammad's just ripping in the cave or whatever, reading the Quran, eating some dates. I mean,
Bro took the sheeps out. Bro. He was like what's it called? Like, you know, the guy with the sheep, like
Shepherd.
Yeah, a shepherd. Like he was a shepherd when like he went to a cave to like rest one like hot day or whatever, and then the angel from God like
Yeah.
came and whatever, you know. That was the story. I was like, nah, bro. I was trying to definitely like jerk it in there.
yo, what the fuck, bro?
If you want to look at it like that, then okay.
Fair enough.
I got a question for you guys. Like, what's your guys' thought on religion?
I think that it's a good concept. I think religion's special, dude. I think it's like it kind of surrounds people's life, dude. Like if you're Muslim, if you're Buddhist, if you're Sikh, like anything, any religion, dude. It's like if you're so passionate, dude, that can be really like wonderful for somebody.
Hmm. For me personally, like I've had like a lot of experience with religion. So I grew up like in a Catholic like family and was baptized as a kid, and then went to Catholic school. Ever since I was a kid, I think you did too, right?
Yeah.
And so like I was like raised around that. That was kind of like all I knew, I guess, as a kid. And then I think like then I went to a public school and then transferred out of Catholic school. And then I started like viewing it a bit differently because like not everyone around me was Catholic, not everyone was religious. A lot of people were like atheist, and I think that had an effect on me. Like definitely, it's harder to like, I don't know, trust and like have faith when like no one around you is like in that
Yeah.
same group. And then for a while there, I stopped going to church and stuff. Recently, I've been like trying to like just explore it more because I think from a young age you don't really know any better. Like you can't really like argue against it because that's kind of like the only thing there. But now I think that faith is important. I think I'm just trying to like figure it out for myself more. You know what I mean? And I want to like question it so I can like
Understand.
if I believe in it, I want to truly believe in it. I don't want to be
True.
like someone that's like a half Christian. So I've been trying to like do my best to like understand it and like sort of get into that like mindset and like even just like go to church and like I wouldn't say I'm like believe in everything, so I don't take the Eucharist. I just get a blessing, but like I think it's interesting and like how so many people are like influenced by it. Like I was sitting in the church and like I was looking around just trying to like see the different people in there, and like all these people are like hella old, like but it's like that could be a good thing. Like maybe like they know something, right? These people are at the end of their life, and the last thing they're doing is taking a like hour or two out of their day to go to the church and pray, right? So like there's got to be something, right? Or,
Did
like
you get
what
first communion?
I did, yeah.
I mean, when you're old, it's not like you have, not like anything better to do, but like you don't have anything to do, and plus like you don't want to die, so you're like, might as well, pray a bit, be like, oh well, God, give me more like,
Or they can be going there to repent, and they can be
Yeah.
going there to just be, I don't know, one-on-one, maybe.
I mean, if I get
Yeah.
old, I would probably go to the, go to the church or whatever, and like
Yeah,
be like,
sure.
well, God, forgive me all my sins. I'm about to die in like 5 months. Like.
Yeah, I guess. Like personally, I think the older generations are definitely like much more religious
Mm-hmm.
than our generation.
Of course.
It's
And
because
that's
in their
just, like-
culture.
Yeah,
It's in their culture way more than it is for ours.
exactly. Like, it's like way more like normalized to like kind of just like not be like religious and like kind of do your own thing. Especially because like LGBT like isn't accepted in like some religions. They kind of just like they find their way like out of the religion because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of just like, yeah, I just feel like the older people, they just have like they've like been going their whole lives. It's kind of just like routine for them.
True.
Yeah, I think like one thing that's honestly appealing. As a kid, I used to find it like almost like a turn off from the face, but it's like because it's so structured, I actually like really like that. It's like you go to church, it could be like an hour each day, but that's time that you're giving up, and like that same time every Sunday or whatever. And I think it's like valuable to have that structure in your life. Like a lot of people just kind of they go on their own accord and do whatever they want, but even if it's like you're sacrificing your time for like something good, right? And like I think that's really important, and a lot of people just like completely disregard it because of the whole LGBTQ thing, or they just don't believe. And I think like as a group, like our generation, like you said, it's just I feel like very like atheistic and like not even willing, almost like closed off to the idea of religion,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
So within the past few months, I've gone to church more than I have since I graduated grade 7, so 4 years and a few months. And I think that's a good thing because I took years of not going to church, not only because of COVID, but I didn't honestly have an interest. Now that I have this interest again, it's actually, I've enjoyed it more than when I did in elementary school, because then it was like I'm kind of forced to. I don't like it. Just 45 minutes standing, sitting, kneeling, standing, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that I really did not like. I really did not like serving. That was a pain in the ass and quite stressful. Honestly, at that time, that was the biggest stress in my life. And that's a good thing, saying that out loud. And I did not like reading either, but I liked reading as opposed to serving. There's so many things you got to remember as for serving. I don't know if any of you guys done it, but yeah.
You did altar serving?
What?
You did altar serving?
You've
Really?
not done altar serving. You have to be in the Catholic Church.
I'll tell you.
He's keeping it secret,
Okay,
bro. Yeah.
so- all right. Yeah. So I've gone when I've been wanting to go, and I've been
Mhm.
finding it more enjoyable, and it's more valuable. So that's kind of my story with like church nowadays. Like I went on Easter,
Yeah.
and that was good. I like that. So, yeah, that's me recently.
Yeah, I think also like in religion, like religion class now, I think I talked about this a couple episodes like, as well, but like in the senior years is a lot better than it is in
Yeah,
like eight,
definitely.
9, 10, because you have more like it's more like philosophical and it's more like question based. It's not really like okay, church history, this is this. It still is that, but it's more like you can ask questions and like they go into that and how that relates. So like we're doing this project right now in religion. It's called like the Summa Theologiae, which is like
Oh,
Saint Thomas Aquinas, like he was like the school saint. He's just like he was like this sort of like philosopher and like saint, and he basically just like had these like
He was good with the
disputes.
animals, right?
What?
Didn't
That
he-
was Assisi, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Assisi.
he basically like dispute like all these different claims. So he'd get a bunch of people and they'd go like ask a bunch of questions, and he had like his students, like people who followed him, answer, and then the next day or like next week or whatever, he'd gather all the information, he'd like fully think it out, and then like display it like so like let's say the person had like two objections. Objection one, the Catholic faith, blah, 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 like this is like why it shouldn't be true. This is another objection, and then he goes and he answers the objections. So that's really interesting project we're doing because it shows that like having a genuine curiosity like isn't bad. Like in fact, it's good because if you like understand why that's not wrong according to the faith, you'll actually like grow in your faith, and I think you'll understand it more. And like I think having an understanding
Asking questions.
is so much more valuable than having just blind faith. Because I think there's no point of having blind faith if you don't
True.
understand your faith. Like I think
True.
you actually need to question it to grow.
Why would you
Grow.
believe something that you don't fully understand?
exactly.
Exactly.
That's just some sheep mentality.
Exactly, bro. And we don't want to be sheep, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah. In like grade 12, like religion 12,
hmm
it's like the lessons are mostly like a conversation with a teacher more than
Yeah.
just like the teacher just explaining it to us.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole unit on like church philosophy.
hmm
It's just like it gets really philosophical, and it's honestly like really interesting to get into.
Yeah. Another thing that I find interesting is like my like Summa question was about like Christianity versus like Catholicism, because obviously I was raised Catholic, but it's like I find like the Christian faith to be, or like just more like I don't even know, but like we did like summer camps and stuff, and like I don't know what kind of like what branch that falls in, because like
Yeah,
Christianity is like the
it's,
umbrella term. It's like Anglican.
It's
right?
Anglican, and then there's another one.
There's Eastern
Evangelical.
Orthodox and
Yeah, evangelical.
yeah. So I find like for me like the Catholic faith is very like is structured, very structured, and it's very like traditional, which I think is cool. Like I can see like sort of the beauty in it, because it's like obviously they're still following these traditions like pretty much like exactly how they did it like thousands of years ago, which is really cool, and they're sort of like preserving history. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have like the very like progressive like forward way of thinking, which is like the like Anglican and like what was the other one you said?
There's Protestant, Anglican, and evangelican.
And I think
Orthodoxes.
yeah, and then so I think like on the like one end of the spectrum, you have a bunch of like older people that like tend towards the more structured traditionalist like
Yeah.
view of the church, and then you have the younger people that like resonate more with the
That's mainly Christians, like young.
yeah. And so I think, and then like you can kind of tell like some of like the Anglican churches and stuff,
They're
there's,
more like singing and more like pop related and like
Yeah.
pop culture stuff in their
and it's
services.
more, I think it appeals to a younger audience. And then I think like, but it's difficult because I think like I like that, and I think that's appealing, and it's
Yeah.
like it almost makes you want to go.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like I can see the ideas of like the traditionalist like mindset. Like it was like this, like it's not like obviously it's not going to be that enjoyable, but you build your connection, and it's like who cares if it's not fun? Like you almost have to sacrifice that for. So I see
Yeah.
both mindsets, and it's like that's where I'm kind of stuck. Like which side do I lean to, right?
Mhm.
But I think that's pretty interesting. I don't know. What would you say? Do you enjoy like the traditionalist or more of the?
Yeah, just because that's what I'm used to. Simply that.
Yeah, but like we both went to Keats when we were kids, and like that was, I think that's, what is that, like Anglican? Or-
Anglican.
but it's the more
pretty
like
sure.
progressive way of thinking. Like what do you think about that? Like especially like contradicting. Well, not contradicting,
like,
but
at
like,
that camp you have and I'm pretty sure it's the faith, because when you're there you have such a close connection to God.
yeah.
So everything around you is like, it's pretty much like a big hug from God, and you're just in it.
Yeah.
And that goes to like when we're doing watch, and then we're doing just anything in the cabin. and that's like when you can really feel like that like strong connection as opposed to just praying at home. There's been like supposedly some miracles that there, like I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I mean, like we've had that a few experiences there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I believe. I think that is a great way to like kind of it's a good experience to go through if you believe in God and all that, because I think you can really feel that like strong connection, that vibe of just, you know, the faith.
Yeah. I think like even going there from like we've been going there since we were like kids, like we were like 7
I've gone
or
like
8.
3 years,
and we've gone like we would go like every year after.
Mm-hmm.
And like obviously like even if you're not like Catholic or Christian, like
people went there,
it's still such a great experience. But I think at the end of it, you almost like, even if you're not completely sure about your religion, you kind of like you question it,
of course,
and you like I think like you, even if you don't like, let's say like you don't believe in it, you can still see like the beauty in it, and like you can see like the connections that it brings.
Some people totally put it off.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't care and they just ignore that. Some people are open-minded. They've came to the camp and they're like, oh, let's learn whatever. And some people have left different than when they arrived.
100%.
And like some people choose to like study that and stuff, and just like solely because of what has happened there.
Yeah.
And then they believe, and then they go forward. And then like I can't think of anyone going there and then being like, well, I don't believe in God now. And then like, you know, like that's just
like people, I feel like always people like either reconsider or like they have like more questions about it, or like even just like a little bit of curiosity around it, which I think is really cool. And honestly, like probably one of the favorite camps like I ever went to as a kid. And I think that's like kind of shaped my like mentality around it.
Yeah, shit got expensive though. You gotta cut down on prices.
Yeah, bro.
Especially that last year, like
come on,
pay for that, bro.
Yeah, bro. A week at the cabin is like,
dude,
it's getting up there now, man.
You got so sick, bro.
Yeah. What the hell, bro? We got some bad we had like one bad story. We got like food poisoning, but we'll get into that later.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but yeah.
Yeah, Chris from Mr. Beast is trans or gay? Is this news? Like, is this new stuff? Basically. Okay, so he's trans now. Good for him, dude. Congrats, man. I don't know what to say. Or trans woman.
Yeah.
Thoughts on LGBTQ?
I mean,
I've been asked this a lot, dude. I mean, I guess I can share.
Personally, like I would never. I don't think I'd be a part of that.
But wait, now, how do you tricky question, but how do you know if you don't like something if you haven't tried it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like it's because of the way I was raised, just like religiously, like I kind of just like. Obviously, I'm not against it. Like, sure, like if you're LGBTQ, like I support you. Like, good for you.
What about the plus? Do you believe in the
Oh.
Yeah, the plus 2. The plus 2.
I think you forgot the 2 as well.
Oh,
and there's like a Q. It's like yeah, dude, it keeps going on.
I don't know. I feel like they just keep on adding to it, and I don't know. Like I don't want to like cancel myself or anything.
Yeah.
No, share your thoughts.
But like I feel like it might be getting like a little out of hand. Like sure, like to what, like plus, like that's okay. Like I mean, everything's okay. But, like,
yeah.
It's just like I don't know. I just feel like I don't understand anything past like the T, base like the 2. Like what is that? What's
Oh yeah. I don't
What about
know.
the Q?
The
Queer?
Q is
That comes after the T.
queer, and then there's like
LGBTQ.
The 2
Oh,
is
yeah,
two
the
spirit
Q,
and
yeah.
stuff. I think my opinion on it is that like right now, I think like it's fine, like you can believe in that, and like that's a community you like identify with. But I think now it's gotten to the point where like they're forcing it upon people. And like a good example is like what you're seeing in public schools in like the States right now.
Yeah.
You have teachers that are like wearing drag to school, which is
Yeah.
first off inappropriate. If you ever like these kids are in like kindergarten, bro, and they're seeing like their teacher dress up in drag. Okay, first off, that's inappropriate. Like that should never be happening. Your kids shouldn't be exposed to that. And second off, like I think it's just disrespectful to these kids, man. Like you're scarring them. And also you're forcing a belief upon them when they're
young.
so
Yeah,
young.
I agree with that.
Cheyenne has sent me stuff where they have it in like Netflix cartoons now, where it's like, well, they are she, her. We have to respect them. It's like, what is the purpose of that?
Bison
Yeah.
that was probably like 2 years old,
Yeah.
saying, I want to be they, them.
Yeah, no, I agree with
It's
that. I feel
fucked.
like kids like shouldn't be exposed to this at like such a young age.
Because it's controversial.
It's the same
That's
way
why.
you don't expose kid to like sex even in history. Like you don't fucking do that shit to. If it's sex, if it's gender, you don't fucking do that either way to the kid.
Well, they're just so young too, and like young kids are so malleable, bro. Like if you just like
Yeah.
tell a kid this is cool, or like you can see it so much with, like YouTube,
Give me your
bro.
Fortnite password.
No, but really, like
Anyone.
you see like their favorite YouTubers, they like idolize them, right?
Yeah,
And like
exactly.
just anyone that like any of their role models, or like pretty much anyone in their life, because like obviously they're so young, like they only know like their parents, their siblings, some kids at school, and maybe their teachers, and like those are the people that are like influencing them the most. So if they're
crucial.
exposed to like drag and then the LGBTQ and this, I think
Yeah.
it like confuses kids more
a
than
lot
anything.
of people
man.
say that drag is a form of art. What do you think of that?
I disagree.
Yeah.
I just
I
think
think
it's like
I think it can be in terms of your makeup, because you can have artistic stuff with makeup, but I think like that whole like I'm drag and here's why, I don't think that's a form of art. I see like the makeup as that, sure.
Yeah.
But
Man, I just see it tied in with that whole like community, bro. Like I don't know.
yeah, like for me, I've been asked this quite a lot actually, and I have no problem with anybody being LGBTQ plus 2 or whatever. But I think you gotta draw the line somewhere, because I see like in Pride Month, I mean we've talked about it, like it's just ridiculous stuff like you can be like 2 genders, you can switch in and out of it, like that's bullshit in my opinion. If you like, but here's the thing, if you want to do that and if you want to be anything a part of that community, I got no problem with it, because I believe in it's your world, you can do what you want, right? So go for it, do that, and I'm not gonna like I might look at you differently because it's a big change and it's a big different scene as opposed to like the world in general. But yeah, if you want to do that, go for it, and if you feel that that's who you are, then just go for it, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, there is a line that I draw where it's like it gets ridiculous after a while. But yeah, to the question, do I support LGBTQ? Yeah, 100%. Like, do what you want with that. And I support them and I support all that. But the people that so happen to be a part of that community, a lot of their opinions when it comes to political ideology and just in general, I don't agree with, because they tend to be super left leaning, and like that's a whole different thing. But like, to answer the question, yeah, I support LGBTQ. So.
Do you believe in the thing that some people say that like LGBTQ is like, some people say understandable, and then they say that the rest of it is just personality disorder in what some shape or form? Do you like
Yeah, sure. I mean, it could also be gender dysphoria, right? Because they think that there's more than 2 genders. My opinion, there's 2 genders, the rest is fantasy, and I'm pretty strong with that. So yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, it could be. And some people, along with that question, they also say like, is transgender people, are they just mentally messed up? I don't know. I don't think anyone has the answer to that question. I mean, it could be. I'm open for that, but also I'm totally open for like, you know, that not being the case. Like, I don't know really. So that's kind of where I have my opinion there.
Yeah, touching on your point, like recently there's this male bodybuilder, like powerlifter, and basically I don't think this is in the U.S., but they opened up the division to men and women, like if you're trans.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
And so this guy who is like a guy, he identified as a guy. He was an influencer on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff. So he actually tried out for this competition, signed up, said he identified as a girl for the day, and went into the powerlifting competition. Literally won every single event, got the gold.
He like broke the record.
He broke the records. Then he just went home because he's like, yeah, I just identify as a day. You can't tell me that that's not true, because that's how I personally feel. Changes back, gets his medals, and just like, I don't know.
And what's fucked is that if somebody genuinely believed in that, they could easily do that.
Yeah.
I think it's fucked.
I personally like disagree with that 100%, because men and women are biologically just different. Like they're just like different, man. Like you cannot like have them competing in the same like atmosphere.
One thing to ask on that though, some people are so like, they've been trans for a while and they've done all that like that comes with the transitioning, and there's so much like the gender that they transition to that you cannot tell if they are a guy or not. So let's say you're playing soccer. Like I know Quinn on the Canadian don't clip that, Quinn. I know Quinn on the Canadian women's soccer team was originally a guy, and then now they're a girl. but you cannot tell like they're a different like gender. So my question is, should that like count? Should you let that slip by when you have like you would not have questioned that? I don't know, dude. That's tricky for me.
No, but yeah, I definitely think that like sports should be biologically like separated.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that.
Wouldn't the hormones that they like give to like all that stuff also affect their body? So like for example, if
Yeah,
a woman
it would.
who's trying to be a man stays in the same league as profession like in the sport
Yeah.
as the woman, would also affect their
So
performance.
that's a good point. Then that's what I was talking about with like Canadian
Yeah.
soccer. But back to his point, like you're born that, like stay that.
Well, there's just too many. There's too much of a gray area. Like it's too
Yeah, true.
unknown because like,
Yeah.
okay, if you're a girl and then you're taking a bunch of testosterone and now you're like,
It's so hard
your
to say.
body's got the same hormones as like a guy, and like then you're, I don't know, you start to like change, and I don't know.
I don't think
just-
we'll ever have a good answer to this. This is like all opinion.
It's too it's too opinionated. It's just too like up in the air. You can't really
Yeah.
like decipher anything really. So I think it's just like, I don't know. My opinion is that you just shouldn't. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. Like, because I just think then you have people taking advantage of it, like that guy. Like, that guy, 100%, like, he said, like, in the video, he's like, I'm a straight male. But the thing is, he was protesting against it because he just thought it was so dumb that that's even a thing.
And that makes
so,
sense. That's a good way to bring it to light.
Yeah.
And bringing attention. So there's also, like, a Christian school in Nashville, I want to say, got, like, shot up by a transgender. And they went to that school. So they shot up the school, killed a bunch of the kids, and everyone's outraged about it. It's the U.S., so what's new?
Killed 3 kids and 3 adults.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris, yeah, that's her name, right? The vice president. Yeah. She came down to Nashville, not to apologize and not to mourn the loss, but to say how it's so unjust that there's not equality in the LGBTQ. So she's looking at it the complete wrong way. She's looking at it as if this trans person was scarred from this school and they shot up the school because they were still upset and had that grudge. So it's the school's fault that they weren't welcoming to this person. So she was like, yeah, we should be welcoming people. They should not be, judged for who they are and what they are. They didn't say like a single apology or like anything like, I'm sorry to hear that, like this is horrible, you shouldn't shoot up schools. None of that. That is really fucked in my opinion.
I just think it's just like not the time or the place, bro.
Yeah.
Like if they're, dude, like all these people just died in a school shooting, and it's just like prevalent. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not the time or the place to do it. Like, maybe that could influence them, but I just think it's like, have some respect for like the people who like lost their kids, man. Like
especially like imagine being like one of the family members.
Yeah,
I'd be so upset because it's like you're completely disregarding like, my kid just died, right?
Yeah.
And you're focusing on like the shooter, the person that killed them. Like, the other thing that is really interesting is like Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot, but like a lot of the people, he's a psychiatrist, and then he's talking about like some of the patients that he had, and one of the girls, she said she was feeling like uncomfortable in her body, and basically the like psychiatrists now and like psychologists, all these people, it's in their like, I don't know, like not like the rule book, but like they're supposed to offer this like the gender switching, like by law they're supposed to recommend, or like not recommend it, but they're allowed to
have
like
an option.
Yeah, and so they have to actually like promote the option a little bit. Like they have to explain the option to the kid. When a lot of the times it's because maybe the kid hit puberty early or late, and they're just uncomfortable in their body,
Dealing
which
with
is
that.
very normal in like teenage kids, right? And so then they have they get this idea in his head that if they switch their gender, they'll feel more comfortable in their body, as well as like they can
shower, bro. Like,
bro, but like they can get like, and then the other thing he was saying is that these kids can get like, if these kids are kind of like outcasts or just like socially like not accepted, if they have this life-changing like surgery or operation or whatever it may be, they gain all this social status because all these kids, now you have to respect them. They're LGBT and they're different genders. So you actually
the Q with the plus.
Oh, okay, yeah. But the point I'm getting at is that like, then like if they were like a socially like I don't know, they're just socially awkward or just like they didn't fit in. Now they almost have this ticket, like this golden ticket. We're like, oh, people will respect me now if I get this. So, I don't know. I just personally don't agree with that, and I think that,
I respect them. It's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like going back to like what we were talking about earlier, it's just like, it shouldn't. It's like inappropriate to like expose them like at
Yeah,
such a young age.
exactly. And yeah, dude, especially to these young kids, like I feel so bad. Like I feel like I'm happy that we're like kind of just missed that. Like, but if we were born a couple years later, dude, we'd be completely exposed to all this stuff. Like I think, and that's why I think parents are like concerned too, sending their kids to like Catholic schools and like pretty like traditionalist schools, because they don't like. I mean, some of it is just like too far, which I don't know. I personally don't agree with. But all right, that has been episode 148. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.